everybody. Welcome once again to the Stevie B Show. As always, I'm Stevie B, and we have a special guest with us today, my dear friend, who, as you can see right there, she we are going to be doing the Fan Expo show from 2021. She went with me. Please welcome my dear friend, Kristen Wolf. Kristen, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
You and I mean, it was like I said, because of the pandemic, there was no Comic Con, Fan Expo last year in Boston. And 2019, I wasn't really the biggest fan of it. And
that one wasn't that great.
Yeah, that one was that great. But but we went, you and I and my friend Lenny, who's our cameraman, went to the Fan Expo for 2021. It was in September 5th through the 7th. Mm-hmm. And what we did, we had a much better time.
Oh, yeah.
And we met a lot of cosplayers. We met, famous voice actors and actresses. And we actually got to interview some of the people. Kristen, what did you think of Fan Expo?
Well, I think that we ended it in a great way, going to John Barrowman's panel. That was like the best way to end it. I know. Think.
Yeah.
He is a hoot.
Oh, my God. John Barrowman, he's on the Doctor Who series, right?
Yeah, and he did the offshoot Torchwood. And he was also on Arrow with Stephen Amell and some of the other people from that. And then he's also been in some other shows too. But he is one of the funniest people I've ever met.
He was hilarious because when he did his what do they call that? The sit-in, like when they talk a panel. He had the panel. He came out in a dress.
Oh well, he had the cape on.
The cape on, yeah, and then we're going to show a picture of that at the end of the show. But I mean, the dress that he had on looked like the TARDIS, which is the police box, and I mean he's so, oh my God.
Do you remember who he said made that? I can't remember who he said made it.
I don't remember that.
But he did mention who made the dress for him.
Yeah.
I remember he said that he wasn't sure if he was going to wear it or not, and then he decided the last minute to wear it. So, and that little dance that he did coming out and then dancing and then with a cape and then swirling it off and everything.
Oh my God. I'm laughing just thinking about it.
Yeah.
But, it was good to be back. We, like I said, after a year away because of the pandemic, we were able to go to Comic Con. And we, like I said, as every year, every time we go, I always have a different shirt on. I mean, the first one we went to, I was Superman. The second one was Batman. And now I'm Captain America, which is, as you can see right there. Yep.
You're wearing the black and white one, though.
Yeah, well, this is the only one I could find in my size. But, so, and speaking of Batman, not only did we interview cosplayers, I got to interview two of the best voiceover actors in the business today. Now, if we all talk about Batman. Who's better to talk about Batman with than the voice of the man himself, Mr. Kevin Conroy? As you know, he was he played Batman. He had that deep, dark voice and all that stuff. He was in the Batman animated series and known for that. And Mark Hamill was the Joker, and it was a lot of fun. So we're going to look at that interview in a few minutes. But first, before we do, we're going to take a look at some clips here. And what we're going to do is the first clip we're going to show is the Ghostbusters of Massachusetts. Now, I interviewed this man. He does, I guess, charity work. His friends and they founded the Ghostbusters of Massachusetts, and they have an actual ectomobile. And it looks so much like the movie. You got to see this. You got to see how this. We're going to take a look at that interview right now. So, take Bo and enjoy this one here, the Ghostbusters of Massachusetts. Sorry, sir.
Go down there. No, any. It's like,
We're here at Boston Comic Con. Boston Fan Expo, and are you Ray Stantz or Egon Spengler, sir?
I'm Josh Emmerich. I'm my own guy. So in Ghostbusters, we could be our own person. We don't need to be the celebrity. But it's cool to play them too.
Now, I got to ask you, I love this car. This is such an exact copy. Show them the car, Lenny. Look at that. Look at how beautiful it is. I mean, you can see. I mean, it's like something out of the movie. Now, did you make this yourself?
So we got this out of Muncie, Indiana. It was rusted. The floorboards were like rusted out. The roof, there was holes in the roof. Did not run. And our guy redid it. I mean, we still have a little bit more work to do, obviously, in the inside. But it's good to show, at least for now.
Now, what kind of car is it?
This is a 1959 Eureka ambulance hearse combination.
Now, do you go across Massachusetts with this car? What is your organization about?
So we're the Massachusetts Ghostbusters, so we raise money for charity. So this weekend we're raising for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So we're raising money for them. We're taking pictures with everybody, with the car. We got Stay Pub, we got the containment unit out there.
You got the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, I can see.
Yep.
One quick question. Oh, who's this guy right here?
This is my son,
How you doing?
Nolan.
Hi, Nolan. How you doing? How do you like Boston's Fan Expo?
I love it.
Do you want to be a Ghostbuster like your dad?
I already am.
He already is.
He's a bigger fan than me.
I know. I love the. What do you think of the upcoming Ghostbusters Afterlife? Do you think? I love to see it, but I feel it's kind of going to be difficult, especially that Harold Ramis is no longer with us. So, what is your opinion of the movie coming up?
Well, we're very excited for the new movie. It's going to bring hopefully some more fans back to our franchise. You know what I mean? But we're super excited for it. It looks like it's going to be a family-friendly movie. We're sad that Harold isn't going to be physically in it, but I think there's going to be a lot of elements of him in the movie. So it's I think it's going to be good.
Okay, I got to ask this one last question. I liked it myself. What did you think of the 2016 female Ghostbuster?
Oh, well, I'm a little biased, a little bit. I was actually in the movie as an EMT.
You were?
Yes, yep. So I like it. I like the movie. A lot of people don't. They have a little bit of a reaction to it, which I understand. I mean, it's not the original, which is cool, but I mean, I like it for what it is. It should have probably been a separate thing, but it is what it is.
Well, thank you very much. What's your name again?
Josh.
Josh, thank you. Nolan, good to see you. Yeah, but I see. Okay. Thanks again, guys. Yeah, that was funny, especially when I saw his son, dressed as a Ghostbuster himself. Yeah. And the upcoming Ghostbuster movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife, is going to be in November.
It looks like it's going to be actually fairly good.
Pretty good. It just, it's hard to, think of the Ghostbusters without Harold Ramis. What I mean? Since he tragically passed away, and he, they know they're dedicating it to him, but so he's going to have some kind of he's a main plot point in the new Ghostbusters movie. But right now, okay, so like I said, we went around. We're going to show a clip of us walking around and all the things we saw. So let's take a look at some of the footage we saw. Okay, now here we have. This is the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Van, and I have no idea what this character is. I don't watch that show, but do you have any idea who that is?
I think that's from the new season, which I haven't seen yet.
There's Christopher Eccleston, who is, the Ninth Doctor?
Yep, very nice guy.
Very nice guy. And Chandler Riggs, who's also on Doctor Who.
And he was also on the show about the zombies, The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. Yeah, there you are. There were more. I think there were a lot more people than there were before. I mean, you could see definitely. The crowd and everything. And over here we have. Oh, here we have a.
He's
MASH.
The guy from Alan Alda's character from Hawkeye from MASH.
And we got Batman and look at these paintings. They're just nice. The Comic Mint. Yep. And that's a scary Joker right then and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're a lot of things to look at. A lot of look at this, like The Last Dragon. I mean, so, like a lot of these cosplayers, I feel, they're so dedicated. I mean, the costumes they design are so that you could be put on a movie set. I mean, I'm surprised Hollywood has not hired some of these people to do movie. Now here's something.
I think that's part of the Gaming Central. Yeah, and that guy right there that's playing the drums.
Yeah.
While he was playing the drums, there are other people who are using other devices to also play other instruments, and whatever computer that they're using was recording it. So.
Yeah, I when I was a kid, I mean, I had the Nintendo and all that, but they make a living out of this.
Oh yeah.
Really. So.
Oh, that's me talking to Chandler.
That's you talking to Chandler Riggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. You. What did you ask him? I gotta ask.
I was asking about The Walking Dead because I've only seen like 1 or 2 episodes of it because it's on cable TV and I don't watch TV. So I was asking him what character he played and how many seasons he was on, and if it was something that he wanted to get off the show, or if the showrunner had already, planned like when his character was going to die. And he wasn't able to tell me a lot because I guess sometimes they're sworn to secrecy about certain things. So, but he seemed like a very pleasant person, and he answered my questions. And he asked me, "Have you seen the show?" I said, "Yeah, I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes when I worked as an EMT."
And here's me with Billy West.
Yep.
The famous voiceover actor. He's known as Fry from Futurama.
Yep.
He was very nice to talk to. We're going to show the interview with.
Isn't he from Massachusetts?
He's from Roslyn. He was born in Michigan, but he grew up in Roslindale, Massachusetts.
Right,
he started his career here in Massachusetts. So now, I mentioned Billy West, but he had a very interesting story. Mm-hmm. He was actually in California. Actually, I don't know if it was California. He was in Massachusetts, right? Mm-hmm. He was supposed to be on one of the flights that went into the World Trade Center on 9/11. Oh. But he overslept is his word. I think. I know something happened that he had to take a later flight because of it, and because of that he didn't take. No, Seth MacFarlane was the one that overslept. That's why he didn't get on the plane on 9/11.
Well, there are a few people who overslept and didn't make it to the plane.
Yeah, I know.
Or to the building. So.
Yeah, I know, but Billy West said in a tweet that he was doing a charity in California for a cancer charity, and he was supposed to go on that particular flight, but he changed it because he didn't want to get up so early in the morning. It saved his life. It saved his life, and. Well, thank God he's still here with us,
Yeah.
But like him, Seth MacFarlane, and I heard even Mark Wahlberg were almost on those planes. There's a lot of things. But anyway, we don't want to talk about that. But it was just a little trivia thing for you too. Yeah. Now, I mentioned before, like you remember we were talking to Chandler Riggs. Is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah. So what you were talking about, The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I've never seen that show, but I have friends who are obsessed with it.
It's like a cult classic. It's been on I think he said it's been on for 11 seasons now. Mm-hmm. So, and he was on it, I think he said, for 4 seasons. So.
Okay, now we're going to go to one of my favorite interviews. I talked to Kevin Conroy, who is the voice of Batman himself. And I got to tell you, he wasn't. Now, I'm only allowed to ask maybe 1 or 2 questions at the most, and they're handlers. I mean, some of these people, they have handlers. Like, the people I managed to interview, talked to 3 of them, but there were 2 of them. I don't want to say their names, but they were pretty much really jerks about it. They're, one particular actor who I wanted to talk to, they said right about you're not doing interviews. We're not doing interviews, and I just said, can I just say hi to him and say I'm a big fan? He said, you got 5 seconds.
Oh, is that the one?
I don't want to say the name of that person.
Is that the one who was in City Slickers?
Yeah, that's him. That's him. Okay, and
we won't say his name.
No, I won't say his name. But I'm still a fan of his. But I mean, it was kind of. I mean, I think that
it was disappointing.
It was disappointing. But I mean, I understand. Maybe that they deal with interviews all the time, but you got to know that it's the public that puts you where you are. I mean, you're famous because of that. You're fans. I mean, I'm not saying you have to mingle with every single fan you be with, but I mean, be a little more courteous
and be grateful.
Yeah,
there are some fans who are a bit rabid. I've seen that, but some of the people who are in line to see Brendan Fraser who are a little out there. But I think for the people who are really successful as either musicians or actors or just an entertainer in general, the ones who are the most successful are the ones who stay humble and who are grateful for their fans and they're known for having great interactions with their fans. And for something like the Boston Expo or any of the other Comic Cons, the reason why people go to these is to kind of pay homage to these entertainers who bring us joy watching their TV shows, their movies, and anything they put out. We're there to enjoy spending time with each other and with them. And when somebody like that comes and is just kind of grumpy all day long, it doesn't make it a pleasant experience for them, for that person, or for the fans, because the fans pick up on that and they're like, well, he's kind of grumpy today. He must have woken up on the wrong side of the bed, and they walk away. They don't want to be around him.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're going to go to the people who are more positive. Who's the other gentleman that we talked to?
Billy West?
Not Billy West, but there was
David Koechner?
there was another one that was further down at that table.
Oh, him. Yeah. I'm not going to say that person's name, but let me tell you something. I can say he was the biggest.
No, the one from Lucifer. Alejandro. Kevin Alejandro.
Oh.
Nicest guy.
Yeah.
But the reason why he had tons of people come see him throughout the day is because he was very pleasant with his fans. He always said, thanks for watching the show. Thank you for coming and, saying hi. Thank you for purchasing a photo and, wanting a selfie with me. And the lady who was next to him, who was also from Lucifer, she was very lovely too. I got to talk with her for a while. And, they're great with interacting with the public. And when they're like that, that's when people like us don't freak out about meeting celebrities, because we're like, okay, they're just regular people like us. They just get paid millions of dollars to have an awesome job.
Yeah.
When with people like that, the fans have a better attitude towards them and have a healthier relationship with them. But with the ones who are more toxic or grumpy or whatever, the fans are kind of like, I don't want to be around him.
Yeah.
And they go elsewhere. I saw a few people go from the City Slickers, and they would walk right behind and go right over to John Barrowman, because John Barrowman's like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
And he was just so pleasant. So they just walk away.
Yeah, it's funny. I find that most of the ones that I've been lucky enough to talk to are voiceover actors, because I get the impression, because voiceover actors, they're behind the camera, you just hear their voice, their characters, and they don't really interact as much with people like actors, regular actors. I mean, I did 2 years ago when we did Rob Paulson. He was like the nicest guy. Yeah. And I saw a clip of him he was in a convention in New Hampshire, and there was a kid, and there was a guy there, and who was autistic. He was very, very silent. But there was a video of him, and Rob Paulson was doing his Yakko Warner thing. The song he does, United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, like that. Yeah. And this adorable man was so happy that he was like, he was starting to cry because he was so happy, and Rob Paulson, afterwards, just gave him a little kiss on the cheek, and that's wonderful. That's
a great interaction.
That is a great interaction,
and that gentleman will remember that probably for the rest of his life.
I know. That's the thing. I mean, if I was ever to make it into Hollywood, I mean, I hate the idea of having someone pay for my autograph or pay for my, I mean, I understand that some stars have to do it. They have to pay their agents or anything. I don't know how it works.
That's the business side of it.
That's the business side of it. But Kevin Conroy was very pleasant. So we went off track, but we're gonna take a look at this quick interview I did with Batman himself, Mr. Kevin Conroy. I am here with the famous Kevin Conroy, Batman himself. Mr. Conroy, welcome to Boston. How do you like the city?
Oh, I love Boston. I grew up in Connecticut and New York, so I'm very familiar with Boston. I used to come up a lot, and I played the Wilbur Theater back in the '80s. I did the national tour of Death Trap, and so I've spent a lot of my time in Boston. I know it well.
Now, you're known for playing Batman. My question is, what inspired you? How did you create the voice for that character?
Well, it was really just an audition. It was a spontaneous improvisation in the booth, because the only exposure I'd had to Batman was the Adam West show. But that wasn't at all what they were going to be doing with this show. This is very noir, it was very dark, it was very serious, very dramatic. And so I just used my imagination in the audition to put myself in the head of someone who, what would happen to someone when they were 10 years old if they watched their parents murdered in front of them. And it led me to this very dark, broody, moody kind of voice.
Yeah, I love it. Now, you've also done the character in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Are we going to be seeing Batman in the future? Are you still going to do the voice?
Yeah, I'm still doing projects, but we're never allowed to say what we're doing until they get released. But I have been busy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Conroy. I truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, he's just the nicest guy. Actually, I asked him, one of the questions I asked was like, how do you like Boston? He actually grew up in Connecticut, and he used to come to Boston all the time and doing shows and everything like that. And we talked about like how he got to do Batman, and what the character was like, when we all recognize that deep, voice that he has. But he was just incredibly nice. He goes to conventions a lot. He's very active on Twitter, and like I said, I was a huge fan of Batman the Animated Series, and I want to thank Mr. Conroy for talking with us. If you're watching. I don't think he is, but you never know. But thank you, Mr. Conroy. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Now,
and he let us take a few pictures too. So
yes, that I know. We're gonna look at some of those later on. This next one, I think, next to Rob Paulson, this man was the nicest, kindest one I think I've met. How many of you know who David Koechner is? Now, many of you don't realize Koechner is a actor who is known for, he plays a character with a cowboy hat in the movie Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy, and he's been on Saturday Night Live. He's been on the Goldbergs. He's been a voiceover actor on American Dad. David Koechner, and me and Lenny, we got to talk to him, and you should see some of the questions we asked him, and he was just so. He has that southern charm because he's got this accent, like he's from St. Louis, I guess. But he talked about how wonderful city Boston was, everything like that. So you got to see this, and he had a cowboy hat on too as well. So I mean,
oh yeah,
we didn't ask for an interview. He said, "Hey, come on up here." And he was very nice.
He's definitely very outgoing. He's definitely an extrovert.
Yeah, I asked about his time on Saturday Night Live. He was on for a year. So let's take a quick interview with Mr. Funny Man himself, Mr. David Koechner. David, I've been a huge fan of yours for so long. I remember when you were on Saturday Night Live for 1 year. You had a character, I think it was called T-Bone.
Yes.
My friends called me T-Bone.
Right.
You were so funny on that show. My question is,
I agree with you, first of all.
can I ask you, you're best known for Anchorman. Now, is there going to be any more sequels of Anchorman in the future?
Not that there's no sequel that I know of in the works. So no. But maybe. We're all still alive, so.
Can you just tell us, since you were on for a year on Saturday Night Live, what was it like to be on the cast?
Oh, it was thrilling, right? I mean, that was something I wanted to do since I was a teenager, and then it happened. So it was a thrill.
So what are future projects are you going to be doing soon?
Well, I'm currently on the Goldbergs again, and in, November, there's a movie coming out called National Champions. It's a drama, so something new for me. And then I did a small part in a movie called How the Bitch Stole Christmas, which is ridiculous, but it was fun, so I couldn't turn it down.
Yeah. And can I ask how you got started in show business, if it's all right with you?
Yes, I moved to Chicago. I was a poli-sci major, and I realized I'm probably not going to make a good politician because I'm not a prick. And so I just play a lot of pricks now. But so then I had always been a fan of SNL, and I knew a lot of them went to Second City. So I went with a friend, and we went and saw a show there. Then I saw that they taught classes, and a bell went off, like, oh, that's how one gets there. So I moved to Chicago, started taking classes, and that was it.
That's amazing. Now, if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to answer this. Why did you only stay for 1 year on SNL?
I rubbed some people the wrong way. There was two people who I won't name, but you'll know who you are if you ever watched this. I should write a book and write their names down. But two guys engineered my offing. I don't suffer fools.
I totally understand. When I was a kid, my dream was to be a cast member on SNL, but I'm in my late 40s. I don't think that's going to happen.
Who knows? Maybe I should make your own. You're doing your own thing now, so right? Yeah. Right on.
You also do voiceover work as well?
Yeah, I've done a ton of animation. F is for Families, one that's recent. What's the other one? God, there's so many. American Dad, pardon me.
Oh, yeah. And have you been to Boston before? Is this your first time here?
I've been to Boston several times. Once when we were touring with Second City, and once I played the Wilbur, doing stand-up, and then I've been here 2 more other times, but they were just brief engagements. I haven't seen the city enough, and I've been here and I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to have to bring my kids here and really have a nice, deep vacation in Boston. There's a lot of history here. I don't know if you guys know that. Oh, yeah. This is one of our early cities.
I've lived here all my life. Dave, by the way, one of my favorite movies with you is Snakes on a Plane. Right. I love that. But thank you so much for your interview. You are probably one of the nicest guys I ever met.
It's all an act.
I know. We like to thank. Oh my God! I don't think I've ever laughed so hard especially with that title that he was talking about with how they, what stole Christmas. I must have. Oh. I must have. It was funny, but yeah, he was a really nice guy. Like I said, he's still gonna be. I asked him, like I said in that clip, I asked him if there's gonna be another Anchorman movie, but
that's right. Yeah.
He said not that he doesn't know much about it. I mean, they can't really tell you if they're going to be working on a certain movie, like sequels, like Mark Hamill used to say that he had to sign a contract that he was not going to talk about Star Wars or anything if it had anything to do with him because it's in his contract. So, but he was good. Of the people you talked to, of many of the stars that we actually got to interact with, and what other stars do you think we had a nice conversation with?
Well, Christopher Eccleston, who was the 9th Doctor on Doctor Who, he seemed like a really nice guy, and he actually told me about, because I didn't know about this, I guess online there is a website where you can download books of Doctor Who stories, and I can't remember what it was called, but he wrote it down for me, and I went and looked it up, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. But he seemed really pleasant. And I asked him about what it was like to be filming with Billie Piper and with John Barrowman and all that crew. And he said, oh, it was amazing. Everybody's so pleasant. And then he told me about Billie. He said, you wouldn't believe this, but Billie is not only an actress, but she sings, she writes music, she plays instruments. And I looked at him and said, I had no idea.
I knew.
And he said, yeah, she's a musician too. And I said, wow, that's awesome. He said, yeah, she would sing to us on set. But he said everybody was really great and that he really enjoyed his time on Doctor Who. And I did ask him if they ever did another one of the shows where they had all the doctors on. I asked him if he would do that. He said, I don't know. I don't know if they'll do that again. But he said, if they ask me, maybe I'll do it. But he was great. Probably the funniest person was John Barrowman.
We keep mentioning John Barrowman. I can picture him, like on the panel. He was. I don't think I ever laughed so hard in my life. He was so funny.
And the beginning of it was kind of. There were a couple things that were in poor taste. That's just my opinion. But he was like right next to Christopher Eccleston. Where they had their own tables. So when I finished talking with Chris, and he said, oh, by the way, John Barrowman's right down there, and he was on, Doctor Who and Torchwood. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's next on my list. He said, yeah, he's right there, go ahead. So I just wandered right over, and I said, yeah, Chris kind of sent me over. And John's like, thanks, Chris.
He's a very funny guy.
What a character. And he's like that in real life. I mean, he wasn't just like... It wasn't just a role that he was playing for the fans. I mean, that's how he really is. I've talked to him online, like through Twitter, and I sent him a couple of messages. And he made a comment about Boston Comic Con on Twitter. He's saying, that he really enjoyed his time there, and he loved meeting all the fans, and the panel was really fun. And a lot of people messaged him back, and I was one of the people who messaged him back, and I said, it was really great to meet you. You're one of the funniest people I've ever met, and thank you for inviting me and my friends to go to the panel. It was great, and I loved your dress. And he actually liked my comments. So.
Yeah. No, I know because no, he had a dress on that was the TARDIS, which was, you know, is that how you say it? The TARDIS,
Yeah, the TARDIS,
the police box, you know. But we're going to do
else.
Yeah, we're going to see one more interview with a celebrity that we did. Now, how many of you know who heard of the characters Ren and Stimpy? Yeah, okay. that was the biggest cartoon in the 90s, you know. Well, I talked to Billy West. Now, Billy West was known for playing Ren and Stimpy, but he's most known for playing Fry on Futurama. Now, I got to talk to Billy West, and I found out that he actually started his career in the Boston area. He grew up in Roslindale, Massachusetts, and he started his career here. And he like I said, he was very nice to talk to. We talked about what was his inspiration for Ren and Stimpy, because he voiced both characters.
Oh, he did both of them?
Yeah, well,
I didn't know
at the
that.
beginning it was John Crisafulli. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. The creator of Ren and Stimpy, his name was John Crisafulli, who voiced Ren. But he got into some trouble and he got fired. So Billy West ended up in the later years performing both Ren
He did both
and Stimpy, you know. And so we're going to take a look at this quick interview with Billy West. Hi, Mr. West.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. I'm Steve. It's nice to meet you. I've been a fan of yours for a long time. Ren and Stimpy, Futurama. Now, I got to ask you, is this your first time in Boston? Have you been here before?
I grew up here.
Oh, you did?
Yep. Roslindale.
Well, I'm from Medford, so we're not too far off.
Today's program is brought to you by the letter D, donated by the town of Medford, who no longer uses it.
My question to you is, Ren and Stimpy. I love you. You did both. Is it true that you based Stimpy on Larry Fine of the Three Stooges?
Yes. Yeah, it's basically a sped up Larry Fine. Larry was like, "Hey Mo, I pissed on my shoe," you know, and Stimpy was like, "Happy, happy, joy, joy."
Can I ask you, how did you get started in voiceover acting, if you don't mind me asking?
I started in radio here in Boston, and then I moved to New York, and I started auditioning for things, and you know, that sequence.
Now, I heard that Ren and Stimpy are going to make a comeback. Is that true?
Yes, that's what I heard.
You can't say if you're going to be a part of it or not, or?
I will be part of it.
I'm so glad. I didn't realize you were from Roslindale. Mr. West, thank you so much.
Sure thing,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And I also got some good pictures of you with him too.
Yes, he was like very nice guy. And it's funny because like I said, he told me he based the voice of Stimpy on Larry of the Three Stooges, which is what you saw in that interview. You know, so that's where he got the voice of is. Larry. He was like a big Three Stooges fan, and he loved Larry. You know, and he based it. But he actually, like I said, he grew up. I think he was born in Michigan originally, but he moved to Massachusetts, where he started his career on radio there. But it's like I said before, voiceover actors are very approachable. I find. I mean, if we go next year, I'm hoping one of my favorite voice actresses is Tara Strong. My niece, who's 6 years old, she loves the show Unikitty. And Tara Strong, that's an actual character.
Unikitty.
If you ever seen the Lego movie Unikitty, it's a cross between a unicorn and a cat. And it's
Okay.
I'll show it to you. But she does the voice really of Unikitty, and and she's done voices for Raven from Teen Titans Go, Barbara Gordon from the Batman cartoon movies. She's been around for a long time, and I'd loved. And she's very. If you see videos of her interacting with her fans, she's I know it's a cliche to say it, but she is so nice. You know, she very, very, very easy to wait.
Was she at the 2019 Fan Expo?
She was at the 2018. My one regret was I never got to interview her. I knew she was there, but I was busy with something else and I forgot. And I was so hoping she'd come. And I know
That was the first one that I went to with you, right?
Yeah, 2018. Okay. Yeah, I'm still kicking myself over that because I really should have talked to her, but maybe hopefully she'll come back next year.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be nice. But anyway, we're going to talk to before we get to the interviews with the cosplayers. We're going to show a man who is known for building Star Wars robots, and I had a quick interview with him. And I also had a quick interview with R2-D2 as well.
Oh, yeah.
So this should be funny. So enjoy this clip, guys. Sir, can you tell us your name, please?
Joe Francasio.
And you are Droid Depot. Is that's your company?
That's sort of the name for our set at the con this year. We're the R2 Builders Group, national hobby group, just building droids for fun.
And so you built this R2-D2, right?
I did.
Now, how long does it take to build an R2-D2?
Oh, it's different depending on everybody's free time, you know? If you got a lot of free time, you can do it quickly. If not, you just do it when you can. People have banged them out in like 6 months. I did this on and off over like 10 years.
Now, do you take him like everywhere, not just conventions?
Oh, yeah, we do museums. He's been in Star Wars commercials for the movies. I do work with Lucasfilm at times, and we get him around a lot.
That's incredible. That is so... it's just so... It's like you're watching the movie yourself. That is so...
It's really cool for the fans to be able to tangibly come up and touch something that's from a movie. You know, it really makes it real for them.
I don't want to touch it. I might break it. I don't want to touch it. Thank you so much.
No problem. Have a good day.
Yeah, that's me talking to R2-D2. You know, it's funny. Yeah,
R2-D2 is a piece of work.
He's a piece of work, but it just amazes me how people. I mean, I don't know what the thing is with George Lucas Productions, but the way that they can build these things. I mean, if I had the skill, I'd build one myself. But I mean, these robots, you know, from BB-8 to R2-D2, they go to hospitals, you know, for children, like St. Jude and Dana-Farber, you know, and it's a lot of work. But I mean, that's the thing that amazes me about these cosplayers. They are so passionate. You know, when I was a kid, I was very passionate. I used to watch. Star Blazers, which was an anime. I liked all anime shows, you know, Saturday mornings and all that stuff. And I remember watching the cartoons. I always thought to myself, you know, I'd like to be a voiceover actor. I'd like to, because people say about my voice. But, you know, and like I said, but people today, when you see some of these people, like a lot of people look at them and say, "Jeez, what nerds!" You know, but there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I'm a nerd. I got glasses. I got, you know, I'm a nerd. I'm a proud nerd, pretty much. But yeah, that was good. So right now we're going to look at some of the interviews we did with some of the cosplayers, and some of the, like I said, their costumes are unbelievable. And we're going to take a look at some of these interviews with some cosplayers. I'm here at Boston Fan Expo, and I believe you are Sailor Moon. Is that right?
I am Sailor Cosmo. So she's from the distant future, and she came to the present in the form of Chibi Chibi.
Oh, okay. I used to see some of the episodes of Sailor Moon. It's my guilty pleasure, believe it or not. I'm a fan. But so, how long did you make this costume yourself?
I actually did not. I got it from Michael Costume. They do pretty good work, and the wig is from them as well. So the whole set.
Now, you're obviously a huge Sailor Moon fan. Do you go to a lot of these conventions?
This is actually my first convention, believe it or not. I really loved anime and manga growing up, but I really didn't attend one of these until now. So now I'm in school, I'm in Boston, so this is the perfect place.
If you don't mind me asking, where are you from originally?
I'm from Calgary, Canada.
Calgary, Canada. Oh my goodness, you're quite a ways off.
Yeah, it's been a bit from home. I think we had a big convention back in Edmonton, but I didn't get out there much. So now I'm very excited to be here. I will also be going to the New York Comic Con as well, Anime NYC.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have fun tonight, okay? Thank you very much. You enjoy. I'm here with one of the cosplayers here, Morticia, right?
From the Adams family, yeah. Morticia Adams.
This is Gomez.
Hello.
So, I guess you're a huge fan of the Adams family, right?
Yeah, very much so, but like specifically the Raul Julia and the Angelica Huston, Christina Ricci movies from the 90s. Yeah.
I love those movies, though. And have you seen the animated one that's coming? There's one coming up in October, actually.
I haven't seen the animated one. I want to see it, but I'm worried because I love, the movies from my childhood. I don't want it to be a situation where I'm like, those aren't the same characters. I want to give another group of kids basically to have the same kind of experiences that I had. And I mean, you look at the Edward Gorey artwork. I will say the animation does take a lot from the Gorey art style.
I like the 1993 with Carol Channing as grandma.
Yeah, that's the one with Angelica Huston. Carol Channing, you have the dead bodies in the cupboard and, Pugsley and Wednesday sword fighting in their elementary school play with blood spurting everywhere. It's who I am as an adult.
I remember the 1960s one with John Astin and Carolyn Jones, Funny thing is, I found out that John Astin is the only one still alive from that one.
Yeah, and it's really sad that Raul Julia is also no longer with us.
That was true.
I mean, he was Gomez Adams. He was perfection.
He was perfection.
He was absolute perfection, so...
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Cara mia. Mon cher. Now I'm here, sir. What costume are you here?
Iron Patriot.
Iron Patriot?
That's it. Yep.
Well,
yes, Iron Patriot.
Wow, that is incredible. I mean, how long did it take you to make this?
I had it made for me, but it took about a year.
A year, my goodness. Now, is this like a mix-up of like Iron Man and other characters, or is it actual?
So in Iron Man 2, he had Iron Patriot. It was taken from them. It was actually Rhodes' first prototype before they gave him the War Machine.
This is nice. Now, have you been? How many Comic Cons do you go to a year?
Well, since COVID, before COVID, we went to both Boston's and Rhode Island's. My family we're both retired military, so we went to the one in Arizona pretty much every year.
Well, it's a very nice costume. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I know many of you who are DC fans may know this character. This is Cyborg. Am I right?
Correct.
Now, how long did it take you to make this costume?
Anywhere between 4 and 6 months.
Wow. I mean, what goes into it? What are some of the parts?
Well, everything usually starts with me from the helmet. Once I get the helmet, if I can get the helmet right, I start working down to the chest and abdomen, the back, the back, shoulder blades, shoulder pads, work my way down, biceps, gauntlets, quad area, thighs, knees, you got to work your way all the way down.
Now, have you met the actor who actually played Cyborg in the DC film?
Yes, I have. This is my second time meeting him. The first time I met him, it was at a show in Rhode Island Comic Con, and I was dressed in the Batman mech suit. So I got a picture with him then, but I wanted to come here so I could get a picture of him with my Cyborg, and he was totally taken back by it.
I am so amazed at some of the work that some of these people, cosplayers, do with the costume, you included, sir. Well, enjoy Comic-Con. Thank you very much.
You too.
Now, I'm here with, this is a character I'm not familiar with. Who are you, sir?
I'm a Nargacuga from Monster Hunter.
Now, Monster Hunter, is that a video game?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, now I see you made this, did you make the costume yourself?
I had help from my grandmother sewing this, and the bow gun help from my father machining the foam.
I mean, that's very good. Now, before the pandemic, did you go to a lot of these conventions?
Oh yeah, you can ask him. He loves these things.
Who are some of the famous people you've met that you've talked to?
I have a terrible memory for faces. I'm sorry, but I have a terrible memory for faces. I'm not sure. Dad, who have we got in pictures with? Famous people.
He wants to know what famous people you've had pictures with.
Today or like this weekend or ever?
Any comic.
Oh, Haley Atwell is probably one of the more famous ones.
Agent Carter. Agent Carter?
Yep, and she signed my Captain America snowboard.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wicked cool. That's probably the most famous one that we've run into. So far anyway.
So I see you have a medic bag and everything, so yep. MASH 4070. Oh, that's good.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for interviewing us. Have a nice day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. This was great. Appreciate it.
Oh, hey, get this. I'm speaking right now with one of the stars of Star Wars, R2-D2. R2, welcome to Boston. What do you think of Fan Expo? Yes, I agree. It is very, very fun to be here and everything. So, how is C-3PO doing? How's he been up to?
Totally agree.
Yeah. I've been a fan of yours since the Return of the Jedi, all the things. So, are you going to be? We're going to see any more future Star Wars movies with you? Oh yeah, definitely. We'll look forward to it. Thank you, R2. Wow, that just completely. That is so amazing. Like like the way they make their costumes, everything.
It's so time consuming. It's unbelievable how much time it takes to build some of the costumes, and the dedication that a lot of them have to build like the big stuff. I remember the last time we went in 2019, and there was somebody who had these huge wings. And I remember I asked him, how long did it take you to make that? He said, took about 6 months. I mean, this boggles my mind how long it takes some of these people to build their costumes. And even when you talk to the guy, the Boston Bruins guy, and his partner there, even just doing that, I mean, he had wings with it, if I remember correctly. And I mean, these people are just dedicated to their favorite shows or sports. I mean, it's unreal. I don't know. I really admire people who can take the time out of their work life or school life and create these really detailed outfits, and then come once a year to the Boston Comic Con.
Yeah.
And some of them go to more conventions.
Oh yeah.
So
some people live by conventions. You know, there's Rhode Island Comic Con. There's one up in New Hampshire. The New York one is this month as well. I mean,
and San Diego. The San Diego
one is
huge.
the ultimate. Is the big one. San Diego Comic Con. I've never been to it. I want to go so bad. You know, like I said, I mean, it was nice to talk to some of these people, you know, like sometimes, you know, though, even if you want to talk to them, you have to either pay for an autograph or pay for a picture, or, you know, and it just, but like I said, when I mentioned the voiceover actors, they're the kindest people. Like I said, if Tara Strong is there next year, I'll go, but that would probably be the last time I go, because it's a lot of work going with camera wise and everything like that. Now, we're going to, before we finish up here, we're going to see some pictures that you took.
Oh yeah, I took a lot of pictures.
You took a lot of pictures. So what we're going to do?
Just so you know, there are a couple of those pictures where I couldn't remember the specific name, but I remembered what they were from, or you know, there are a couple. I couldn't remember the technical name for the sand people in Star Wars, so I just put sand person.
Sand person.
So.
Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go.
Oh yeah, it started with Dr. Doom.
Okay, let's okay, we're gonna take a look, and let's see these pictures. Okay, there's Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good costume, too. I like the way they do
Yeah.
it. And this
There
is,
were a couple people dressed as. There were a lot of Star Wars people there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Unbelievable. And
No,
that whole
they-
section that they had with the was it the 501 Legion?
Mhm.
That's the gaming center. They had a lot of people for the gaming center. I couldn't believe
yeah,
it.
and there's the Ectomobile. Amazing. It's like you're on a movie set. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Look at-
and notice how they have that little thing in the front there with,
Yeah.
with the pyramid or the eye.
Yeah, the
R2D2.
goes there and the R2D2.
Yeah.
Yeah, sand
Sand
people.
person. Yep.
You know.
I couldn't remember the technical name for it. So I just put sand person.
And this is
That
50
whole-
501st Legion. I'm not
That
sure.
whole thing there was huge. I couldn't believe how many people were involved with that. And they had some type of donation box there too. So I can't remember what they were raising money for. And those were just random like anime characters. But there's another one that I got. They were the princesses from the Super Mario Brothers game.
Captain America's shield.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh,
C-3PO.
C-3PO, the Universal Translator.
I'm fluid in 6 million forms of communication.
Oh. That guy he did a great job of dressing as a Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't.
Rita Repulsa.
Yeah, what is she from?
Power Rangers.
Power
Mighty
Rangers,
Morphin
okay.
Power Rangers.
And this one I
This
remembered.
is Poison Ivy.
Yeah,
but
I couldn't remember what the other lady was. Who the other lady
we
was?
interviewed Morticia
Yeah.
and Gomez Adams.
She looked amazing. Oh, and the Red Hood from that's from Arrow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's the Boston Bruins fans we were talking about.
He had
too.
those filmy.
Yeah.
I think those wings or something, or some type of cape.
And
I think that's Michelangelo. You remember the guy dressed as the turtle?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I asked him, are you one of the turtles?
Yeah, that's Princess Peach from Super Mario Brothers. Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yep. From Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean. And Ariel, the Little Mermaid.
Actually, no, that's Mara from Aquaman.
Okay. And this is Sailor
think-
Moon, Queen Serenity.
Yeah, I think she was from Sailor. Oh, and this one I couldn't remember. It was some type of
I don't know what he
beast
was.
hunter or something.
And
he was with this guy who was dressed as Hawkeye. They were. Remember they gave us the little hand sanitizers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I still have it.
Yeah, I still have mine too.
And there's me with R2.
Yep.
Yep. And here I'm interviewing Cyborg.
Yeah, Cyborg.
Yeah. And I'm not sure what this character is. It's
Kind of got chopped off.
yeah,
Oh, and that's Cyborg with Iron Man.
Yep. That like I said, look at the detail of some of these things.
I had to get the Ewok. I love the Ewoks.
I love the
They're so cute.
Yeah. And
you know why I like them so much? Because they remind me of koalas, the Ewoks.
yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing, that whole presentation that they had was huge. They had such a huge area, and there were so many people involved with that. And I didn't put the picture in there, but they were really nice. They asked me, "Do you want to get a picture with some of the characters?" I said, "Sure." So they seemed really nice.
Yep. Look at this in the Superman.
And this one I put Kal-El / Superman.
Yeah.
Because Kal-El. And I couldn't remember which anime.
What character is this? I have no idea.
I think it's from Vampire Hunter D. Oh,
and there's John Barrowman.
There's
Look,
John.
he came out with
That's his cape.
That's his cape.
It had like stars on it. It was red, white, and blue.
Yeah. He was.
And then he had an
And then he had. Look at that costume.
He has nice legs. When he took the
look at him.
He had like an undercape or like a robe or something that he wore.
Yeah, look, the
'Cause
TARDIS.
He got cold in that dress, but
Oh
he has
my
nice legs. When he came out, and I was like, and he was wearing high heels.
And this
Did
is
you notice that?
this is
the Joker with the Batman.
That Batman you see is Joshua Madruga, who was on my show, who's a cosplayer. He was on my show about a year ago, and he. He dressed as Batman, and he actually, I don't know if we have the picture here, we actually got to meet Kevin Conroy dressed as the Batman. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, well, here's another picture of him as Batman. I mean, Joshua is a terrific guy. We're doing a play together. We're doing the play Annie. He plays Oliver Warbucks. I play FDR. Cool. And the play will be on November 12th through the 21st at the Peabody Black Box Theater. And... but like I said, Joshua does this for a living. Makes kids happy, goes to birthday parties. And here's Joshua with Kevin Conroy.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's cool.
I know. Just he told me that when he met Kevin Conroy, Kevin was like looking at him in his eyes like, nice costume. Oh my God. But look at the detail that he has in that. I mean, like,
And that's the.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's the dark Batman too.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the one that was in the earlier movies. It's more from the Batman, the ones with what's that guy's name from the English guy? He was the mechanic. Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. I liked Christian Bale.
He
as
was
Batman.
good, but that series of the Batman movies, they were very dark. The ones that were before that was like when Val Kilmer was Batman and Michael Keaton. That was not quite as dark.
The
in
one
general, like the whole theme of it wasn't quite as dark as the ones with Christian Bale. And that outfit that I think that he wore at the Comic Con, I think that's more the darker version of the Batman. I think Michael Keaton, was it Michael Keaton? Not Michael Keaton, Michael Caine? Michael Keaton. Somebody asked him if he would be willing to portray the Batman again, and he said yes. So I think there's going to be a new Batman movie with him as the Batman.
I don't know. You get a little too. Maybe he's a little too old for it now.
I don't know what's going on with it, but
they're very secretly about that, you know.
Yeah, it's a hush hush, but he answered some questions about it, and he made it sound like there's going to be a new movie and he's going to be playing Batman again. So
yeah, it could be a tease. Now I have to ask you, of all the actors who played Batman, who's your favorite?
Ooh, that's tough. I really liked Val Kilmer's version because he has that kind of je ne sais quoi for Bruce Wayne. But I would probably say one of the best ones was probably Michael Keaton. The first one. Because he kind of set the tone for the movies, for the character. And he had the same kind of personality. The personality that he brought for Bruce Wayne's character, and then the darker part of the personality for Batman. He did a really good job with that, and all the other ones after that kind of had to follow in his footsteps. So,
what was your opinion of Ben Affleck as Batman?
He was all right. It surprised me because I wasn't expecting him to be that good at it. I didn't expect much from him because he's been really great in other movies. One of my favorite movies that he's been in was The Accountant. He was awesome in that. It's very violent, but he does play an accountant, like a real accountant, which of course I'd be interested in because I'm a math person. But when I heard that he was going to be playing the Batman character, and the first thing that I was thinking was like, oh boy, is he going to do this justice, or is it going to be kind of wonky like when he portrayed the Daredevil? Because
I actually liked that movie, that Daredevil movie.
It was okay, but I think that the newer version of it with the guy from England, Cox, I can't remember his first name, but the new show with him in it is really good. He does an amazing job, and some of those fight scenes are just unreal. But I was surprised. He surprised me. I think he's doing a good job.
Yeah, I think so. I know there's a new Batman movie coming out next year. I think with the actor from Twilight, Robin Patterson, Robert Patterson.
Yeah, Robert Patterson.
Yeah.
That's I don't know about that one.
I don't know.
He doesn't strike me as the right type of person to play that character, but
well, that's what they said about Michael Keaton when he was cast as Batman. People were like you're casting a comedian to play.
He did that right after he did Mr. Mom. So that's why.
Yeah, I know.
He did Mr. Mom first, and that was kind of like, huh? And that was a great movie. But then when he was in the Batman, I was like, okay, that's like a huge difference from Mr. Mom to this. But maybe Robert Patterson will do a good job.
Who knows? I mean, you never get bad.
Pattinson, Robert Pattinson. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
He might surprise us, like Ben Affleck surprised me. As Batman. We'll see.
Like I said, but I'm personally. I go between Michael Keaton and Christian Bale as my two favorite Batmans.
Christian did a really good job.
Yeah, he was really good. He just had that. He had that. I think during the early 90s with Keaton and then Val Kilmer and then
George Clooney.
Oh God.
But you know what?
Oh my God.
I know George Clooney. Like a lot of people are like George Clooney is a Batman. Come on, but he actually did okay. I think he did a good job of continuing the character, like in character. He had a bit of a different take on it. as opposed to Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer. But I think that when he did it at that time, and the other people who played opposite him, was that the one with Dr. Freeze?
Yeah, Dr. Freeze,
With
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. So,
Stay cool, bird boy.
And then Uma Thurman played
Poison
Ivy. So those interactions, that dynamic of George with Uma and Arnold, I think that actually worked out okay. But yeah, he was kind of, I think he did a better role in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? When he played one of the Soggy Bottom Boys. So,
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't want to spoil that for anybody who hasn't seen it.
No, okay.
But
yeah.
he was amazing in that movie.
I'm a fan of George Clooney, but I mean, Joel Schumacher, who was a director who sadly passed away, who directed Batman and Robin, he got a lot of grief over that because people, he went back to like the campy 1960s Adam West TV show, the Batman and Robin thing. And I just remember seeing the movie and I'm like, oh my God. Does that stink? I mean, that was not that.
Which one was it when Chris O'Donnell played Robin?
Yeah, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Who is the Batman for those?
Well, you did two. Well, the Val Kilmer Batman Forever, and George Clooney Batman and Robin.
In both of those.
He's in both of those. Okay.
Okay. The first one that he was in with Val Kilmer, that was a great. The two of them together was amazing. Yeah. The way they interacted was really good. Yeah. He and George, you could tell it was kind of awkward sometimes. But Chris, and I've met Chris O'Donnell before, and he's a really nice guy.
He's from local. He's from Boston, actually, isn't he?
Yeah, and he has a summer home up in Maine. That's how I met him. I met him when I used to when I worked in Maine. I met him and Oliver Platt. They both came through the airport at the same time, and they're hilarious. Oliver Platt's amazing. But Chris O'Donnell and Val Kilmer working together, they had great chemistry together. So I think that's one of the things that they fed off of each other.
You know, we don't have time, but if you ever come back on the show again, we got to talk about the time you actually talked to and met David Bowie.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
we'll get to that another time.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was an amazing conversation.
Yeah, and so you know more about superheroes than I do, actually. That's amazing.
Oh, well, I grew up reading a lot of comic books. My brother and I fought over the comic books all the time. I want that one. No, I want that one. He was into Superman, and I was into Spider-Man. And I'm still, when I go to school, because I'm teaching PE right now, and the kids see me in lunchbox, and it has Spider-Man on it, and they see that, and they're like, oh, Miss Will. They know it's me. And they're always like, oh, that's so great. I said, yeah. Love Spider-Man.
Yeah. Kristen, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. And we had a really fun time at Boston Fan Expo this year. We'll try to see if we'll come back next year. We'd like to come back, but that's all the time we have for the Stevie B show. As always, I'm Stevie B. I want to thank my guest, Kristen Wolf, and Lenny Scaletta, who is our cameraman. And we'll see you next time. And don't forget, Annie, November 12th through the 21st at the Peabody Black Box Theater. So, and I play FDR, so hope you come to see it. I mean, the play was delayed for a year and a half because of the pandemic. So
I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to. I know. I can't wait to do it too. So, but that's all the time we have. So until next time, this is Stevie B saying, see you next time.